my name is Lisa Warren, and today I'll be talking to you about how stem cell research can really help our country as a whole. On March 9, 2009, President Obama decided to override President Bush's policy on stem cell research. President Obama felt that stem cell research can really discover new things for scientists and our country as well. He felt that it would help us learn more about the different diseases that are overtaking our society every day as we press on. Many people believe that stem cell research isn't really accepted around here, but what many people need to understand is that 63% of our population approves of stem cell research, and 70% approve of federal funding of stem cell research. So today I would like to tell you about the different types of stem cells and where you can get those stem cells from, what stem cell research can solve and help us discover, and then an alternative type of research that is similar to stem cell research but can kind of bend away from the moral issues that are coming up about it. So what exactly are the different types of stem cells and where can you get them from? Well, there are three types of different stem cells. One of them is the totipotent, where the egg is divided and you can have an organism develop. And the second one is the pluripotent, where an embryo can't develop, however most of the muscles are able to develop. And then you have the multipotent, which is derived from an embryo, and mostly it's adult. It comes from adults. You can get those cells from adults, such as bone marrow. And what we also need to know is, where can we get these stem cells from, these different types? Well, you can get them from an embryo, a fetus, or an umbilical cord, and lastly, an adult, like I just told you about the multipotent cells. So, now that we know about these different types of cells, which cells are scientists using, and how can these stem cell research help us in learning more about these diseases that we have today? What I told you about the multipotent cells, those are known as adult stem cells, and scientists have discovered that many of these adult stem cells can help us figure out and learn more about the diseases that are happening today. For example, if we got stem cells from bone marrow, we would be able to learn more about leukemia and help out with chemotherapy. If we were to get those stem cells from nerve cells, we could help out with Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. If we got them from heart muscles, we could help out with heart disease. And lastly, if we got them from pancreatic insulin cells, we can help with diabetes. Now, when you're thinking about this, really dwell on the fact that we can now help your family member, a loved one, or a friend that you might have lost, and we could really help the progression on their disease. And what's also important is that most of these adult cells are able to divide and reproduce themselves, and they can meet the needs of any body, whereas if you need it for maybe a lung or a liver, it can also help that as well. So now that we are able to understand how big of an impact that these stem cells can help us in learning about our disease and help us benefit from it, we should also look at something else that came from the stem cell research, an alternative route that kind of alleviates the moral concerns of many people. The main problem with stem cell research is that scientists feel that fetuses can help us a little bit more when it comes to stem cell research. However, in order to get those stem cells, you have to let an embryo grow from 3 to 5 days and then get those stem cells, which many people find controversial on the moral scale. So what I want to tell you about is a new way, which is called somatic nuclear transfer. Is when you take a somatic cell. It's also called the alternative nuclear transfer. And what happens is the embryo is altered to where potential growth into an embryo cannot happen. However, it still has that pluripotent form to where you still have those muscles without injuring a life as many people might think. And these cells have the same capacity as a regular stem cell. However, many people don't approve of this. So this is just another alternative way at looking at things, because what we need to remember is that we're trying to learn more about these diseases. So what I really want for you to understand from this is that we can save millions of lives here with this. One of the things that I think have held us back is because we had misconceptions that we're going to be killing potential human beings, and that's not the case. There are ways around it, and with guidelines, I feel like this research can really help us. We need to learn more about stem cell research, which is evident because I don't think many of us knew about the different types of stem cells and where we could get them from. So how many people have you lost to a disease? Cancer, leukemia, Alzheimer's. How many of you have had to see a loved one suffer? So my question to you is, if you had an option to save them or to help them out a little bit, wouldn't this be the best one? Thank you.